What's going on, YouTube? Mr. Wheels here once again, welcoming you to another edition of Sports Talk. This is the Super Bowl 50 version of Sports Talk, and I just want to talk a little bit about my thoughts on Super Bowl 50 that just ended. If you didn't see it, the Denver Broncos were successful at beating the Carolina Panthers, who were heavily favored to win the game. Denver beat them 24-10. Now, all week I've been hearing that how favored the Carolina Panthers were going into this game. I live in Canada. I've been watching TSN, which is like our version of ESPN, if you didn't know that. And they've been on location in Santa Clara all week talking about how the Carolina Panthers were just going to basically have no problem with the Denver Broncos, and how Peyton Manning was too old, and how there was no way the Denver defense was going to be able to stop Cam Newton. You know, how Cam Newton was 240 pounds and a quarterback, but yet he played like a running back. And all of that is true. Carolina is a good team. Cam Newton is a very good quarterback and is very good with the run game and scrambling. But what I didn't like was how the reporters that I was watching never gave any credit to Denver. And I am not a fan of the Denver Broncos. In fact, I am a Green Bay Packers fan. So if you remember 1998 and 97 or 98, when Denver won, I don't like the Denver Broncos, or I have reason not to like the Denver Broncos. But I didn't like how Denver was so underrated going into this Super Bowl, because I knew that Denver was going to be out for a little bit of redemption, considering they lost Super Bowl 48 to a very good defensive Seattle Seahawks team. And going into that game, Denver was, everybody was talking about how much of a high-powered offense Denver had 2 years ago. Well, fast forward 2 years later, and Denver has a very stingy defense. And, Carolina, to their credit, they tried. Cam Newton tried to run. They tried to get things going, but they were not ready for Von Miller and DeMarcus Ware. And Von Miller, Super Bowl 50 MVP. I mean, what more can you say? The guy was unstoppable in this game. Peyton Manning, if you look at it, really didn't play that well of a game. But you know what? I would take a 39-year-old Peyton Manning over a much younger Cam Newton any day. Don't have anything against Cam Newton, and I know Carolina is going to be very good for many years to come, or at least potentially they are. But, two old adages are true. You have to lose to know how to win, or before you can know how to win, and defense wins championships. And I really think in this Super Bowl 50 game, both of those were very true. And, it wasn't even, the game in a lot of ways wasn't even that exciting. It had its moments, but it was a very defensive game on both sides. And DeMarcus Ware and Von Miller were definitely the difference. So that's pretty much all I wanted to say. Other than, you can never underestimate a team. I honestly think Denver was very underestimated in this game. And, I think the other side of that is I think Carolina's receiving core wasn't given enough credit either. They didn't show up necessarily the way Carolina needed them to, but, Carolina's got Greg Olsen. Everybody knows that. But they've also got Jericho Cotry, Ted Gwynn Jr. I mean, the reporters that I was listening to weren't giving any credit to Carolina's receivers. And now, maybe rightfully so, because Cam Newton was forced to throw the ball a lot, and he didn't get to run the way he wanted to. But Carolina had just as good of an offense in terms of receivers as Denver did. It was defense that was the difference in this game, and that's all I really wanted to say. Congratulations to the Denver Broncos. I'm sure nobody will underestimate them ever again. I hope not, because look what happened. And, there you have it. Denver Broncos, Super Bowl 50 champions. That's all I got. Talk to you later.